Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Good morning to whoever is gonna join. Um, this is Saturday morning, and we are making this live, uh, taking coffee. Hello. We're gonna talk today about first of all, thank you for being here, liking, sharing, subscribing. I do appreciate you so much. I am so sorry I'm not in good shape, but I went to chiropractor last night and she didn't know what she was doing. But I think I'm gonna be better. Forgive me for my face and all the rest. But today we're gonna talk about very passionate about me topic, mm, the job interviews. I print all your questions over here, and I pick one question, which was regarding the job interview. The question is from Isha Martin. It's 2 weeks ago when I was making my other live. Isha asked me, "Thank you for sharing your experience. I love your videos in medical terminology. Do you have any videos for interpreting job interviews?" So I wanted to focus this video a little bit on how I know that I don't want to work for a company, how I decided I don't want to provide any services for a company, how I know that is gonna be a problematic one. Let's say it like that, right? So last last week or a few weeks ago, I created a video for a job, how to look for jobs, and there in this video there was a job on which I apply, and I receive a response from this job, even though I did not have the certification. And I film a small video which I'm gonna share with you next week that is related to exactly to fraud jobs, or how to know that there is something wrong with a company. But let's talk about the job interview. I have a few things that I prepare. There is one video that I created about the question you should ask on your first job interview when it's a language job, yada yada yada, and why. I believe I talk a little bit about it on some live, but if I have not, you should go ahead and check my get the job folder, where is maybe 4 or 5 videos talking about jobs and jobs interviews and experiences with different companies. So for me, the first thing is called, I will call it professional respect or responsiveness or whatever you wanna, or respect in action. Or in general, like the way this company or this person is communicating with you. Hi. Uh, I know. Thank you so much. I'm gonna fix it. I know it's just come automatically when I typed and I let it be. I appreciate you letting me know when I finish this live. I'm gonna be able to fix it. I'm forgive me, guys. It's just that I have few languages on my computer, and sometimes the English, which is the language that I don't use that much, is not so good. Thank you so much, video at Tacheo. Gracias miles. Gracias muchas. Gracias mille. Merci, merci, merci. Thank you. I will do it. So, said that, let's go back to the job interviews and how the job interviews, the structure of the job interview. I used to work as a recruiter back in Europe, and I would pick a different candidates for different type of people. I know who is the customer and I know what type of person they like, and I would always pick the one that I think will do a great job, but is not gonna be so great looking whatsoever, so impressioning. And then I will give two that I think he would physically like, and he will tell they're very pleasant and so and so, but I don't think they will work as hard. And in the end of the day, the ones that I would pick and say I would bet for this girl, me and my boss used to bet for the girls. And I will tell him who is gonna be the one that will sell better, and he will be like, he will bet. We will kind of have this fight within the company. The company was his, but I was the recruiter, And when we choose the girls, sometimes we need three or four. And I said, okay, this is gonna be the best one for today. I gotta. He's like, no, she's not so beautiful. I'm like, let me show you. And so we gonna find. I will choose the people, and I would say, okay, this is the one that is gonna do better job. I could tell who was the hardworking person and who was there just talking, just chatting, yada yada yada. So let's go back to the interview. So I had about 10 experience of recruiting, and my boss would never believe. He would be so pissed when I pick somebody more simple but very pleasant, very nice in communication. I would see other characteristic in this person, and he will pick this very glamorous person, very beautiful looking. And in the end of the day, I would be the okay. This I would choose the right candidate. He will be always so pissed, and he said, "I don't know how you do it." And I will give you a few tips about the interviews and how I pick the companies that I want to work for. The truth is that I do get a lot of job offers, maybe few a weeks, I would tell you. But some of them I don't even consider. And the reason why I don't consider is because I don't want to work with this type of people. And I'm going to just talk a little bit now. Respect in action for the recruiter or the company that contact you. Respect in action for me personally, it means how they communicate with you or with me. If I want to recruit someone, I will send them an offer for the interview whatsoever, and I will tell them what I want them to be ready to speak about. If it's just a simple interview, normally if I interview people for interpreting for another client or for a project, sometimes I directly on the phone try to do a small test. The ones that say that they're not ready, that they don't hear well, that they want to get longer time, some Russian, for example, girls, I would never recruit them again. Because if you work as an interpreter, you should be ready. Yeah, let's give it a try. Anyway, I'm gonna do this job, right? So me as a recruiter, if I look you as an interpreter and I ask you a question and or whatsoever and during the interview or I want to test you, you got to show me that you're ready, because if you're not ready to work you should not even apply for this job, right? So ready to work means I'm ready right now, I'm ready to get the interview, I'm ready to get tested, and so and so and so. From the other side, as I work as a recruiter, when a company contact me and they do want to work with me and they want to offer me a job, any kind of job, I receive different type of jobs. Some, I will tell you, I had a Google work job offer about 2 years ago. And honestly, to refuse a job in Google, it was very hard for me because, who the, I mean, Google is like working for the dream. Who doesn't want to provide language services for Google? So for me, I was like, oh my goodness. When they called me, hi, this is the team recruiter of Google calling you. We receive your resume. I was like, oh my goodness. I completely lost myself. I was like, "Oh my gosh, they want me. They called me." And I know a lot of people when they want to work as an interpreter and when they get this call, they're like, "Oh my goodness." They called me and you get so happy and you're so excited and you forget to be reasonable. I forget to be reasonable and I forget to be logical, to be strong, to not to look for, not to go after my emotions. I went on the emotional. I was thinking, like while he was talking, I didn't even listen to him. In my head, I remember when I was in the university in Italy, and we were making this. We had lections, and we talk about Google and their, I don't know, their indoor, their open spaces to make you be more creative. I was like dreaming. I didn't even listen to him. Okay, I was dreaming. The first minute I was dreaming, and then I forgot to listen and I forgot to look for these very important things. So, respect in action, and this is one thing that I really gotta say about a bigger company. I named Google because that used to be like something like, it's still kind of dream of mine to kind of provide services for Google whatsoever, but I let go this dream 2 years ago. But so respect in action is asking you for your goals, dreams, and ambitions, or at least like communicating clearly with you. I maybe don't care about your goals, dreams, and ambitions because I just need a Chinese translator or an interpreter. If I don't care about your dreams, goals, and ambitions, I will be very clear about it and I will tell you, hey, listen, what I am needing this person with this type of characteristic that knows this, and that. I will be very clear and very transparent with you. And I will tell you what you can get from me. If you give me what I want, I'm going to offer you that type of payment or that or this or this or that, whatsoever. Respecting action means clear communication, okay? And this is like the way the job is posted, the way they respond, if they respond or don't respond, or if they ghost or vanish or whatsoever, because the time is precious. Not your time. For me as a recruiter, I don't care about your time. I want your time if it's possible for cheap. But my time is precious. And if somebody doesn't show you with these little things that their time is precious, this means that their time is not precious. And this means that this company doesn't do as well. They don't do money. And if they don't do money, they cannot pay you your desired salary. Or even if they do money, this means that they don't respect their own time, and this company will slowly go down. And you want to work with company that grows, because a company that grows will give you more calls if you're on call or video or whatsoever, and you're gonna grow together with them. And you want to work in this type of environment when you can grow, and grow doesn't mean necessarily that you're gonna become a millionaire or anything. Most of these companies, they don't raise your payment, unfortunately. The number two thing I'm gonna talk about today, it's during the interview. So this is before the interview that I until now it's before the interview. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about during the interview. What do you do, and like how do you behave? Most of the people get very nervous during the interview. They get emotional as I share my experience, and they forget to stay focused and ask logical question. Ask me, be interested in what you're gonna receive. Be interested in your like in your benefits from this work, or you feel comfortable. It's like most of the people just listen and feel so flattered that they get this call, they get chosen. The feeling of being chosen. Oh my goodness, they choose me, they contacted me. Yari. So if I choose you, I need to use you. I know I'm not romantic, guys, and I know these videos are not very feminine and very sweet, and there is no much sugar in what I'm telling you, but this is the raw truth. If I choose you, it's because I have an interest, and the interest mean that no matter what I offer you, I earn money from you more than what you're gonna, maybe two three times out of what you're gonna earn. So I am honest with you. There is nothing wrong with making money. We all want to make money. You want to make money. I am ready sometimes to work for free. I'm ready sometimes to ask for crazy prices because I don't want to work for certain people, correct? So everybody have price of their own time and their own self. And everybody just like decide how to sell themselves, correct? So said that during the job interview, actual interview, there is some questions that you have to ask, and some of them are like, what field? You're gonna do background check, and when and what kind is the your most like, and where is. I normally ask where the company goes. What's your target clients? Most of the recruiters are like target clients. They're shocked when I ask questions on my interview. The reason why is I just don't want to provide services for some poor acting person. I don't want to present, I don't want to put my voice in poorly acting companies or people. And I start asking those questions because I want to see where the company want to go. I remember when I had an interview with CLI, I asked a few questions and I said, I don't want to just work for anyone, guys. I just want to work with someone that I'm happy to represent, and I'm proud to put my face and my voice in your company. And if you look for cheap interpreter, I don't think this is me. I honestly told them this: if you want to work, if you can find somebody to do the same language for like maybe $10 less, I am aware of this, yada yada yada. And when they find out, when they see that I was ready to walk out the door, this is when they were working with me in the towards the money that I wanted. They didn't give me exactly what I wanted, but they give me let's say good amount, little bit over 35. So I was more than happy to provide services. But during the interview, there is a number two tip, and the recruiter of CLI failed this thing. This is, are they listening to you or they're interrupting you? Just the reason why I give you this, I will tell you this tactic of interrupting your the person that you interview or your future employee, if you want, or future interpreters. There is one goal: to intimidate you. So me, I'm very focused during my interview, and I honestly sometimes don't like the way the recruiter behave. I don't like that they don't have a structure, they don't know what they want. Yeah, there is many things that I look when they interview me, and I can tell if this is a bad recruiter or a good recruiter. So the moment that the CLI was recruiting me, I believe it was for Italian or Bulgarian or something, they test you. All the companies test you, or most bigger one test you. And she would interrupt me, not once, not twice, many, many, many times. This is a tactic. Some people that have university education, because most of your recruiters doesn't have education that you do have, but they are very like arrogant, very abusive in a way in their ways of communicating and behaving with you during your interview. And the goal of this is to intimidate you, so you're gonna settle for a lower payment. This is the one tactic. The second tactic that recruiters will use on you: too sweet. I know some of you watch my last live talking about Voice, this company. The lady was way too soft. Too hard or too soft is not good. If you're an intelligent person and you have somebody spending 10 minutes or 15 minutes interview talking about the weather, her sister in California, then her sister in Colorado, and then dropping off the interview, typing, showing how busy she is. It's just, you gotta understand that this is a red flag. If it's too arrogant and too pushy and interrupts you and doesn't listen to you, this gotta tell you a few things about the company that have this recruiter. I, as a company, do not care about you. On the other side, I don't care about your goals, dreams, ambitions. I don't give a F about you. And number two, you're gonna do the things on my terms, 100%. Even if I am nasty, arrogant, rude, abusive, you're not gonna be listen. And if you have a problem, you gotta learn to deal alone with it, because I already am showing you here. I'm starting to give you this frame. Like your recruitment, like your interview, it's, I'm imposing a frame of how I want you to behave in my company, in my environment. And if the frame of your interview is interrupting you and not listening to you, you gotta know that this is gonna be exactly how you're gonna be treated in the company. And I can guarantee you this 99%, even if you're freelance. I know you think, oh, I'm a freelance, doesn't matter to you. Well, I will tell you how it matters to you. If you get hired by a company who interrupted you during your interview, did not, the second thing is did not listen to you. Don't listen or interrupt. Two things go together basically. If you have a problem, there would be nobody there. And trust me, when you work as a freelance, there is problems. The problems happen, and this is not your company. You cannot solve this problem. You gotta contact, you gotta communicate. Somebody have to tell you how to handle this problem for them, not for you, because it's not your company in the end of the day. But this means that you're gonna find yourself in a very uncomfortable positions quite often, and you will not have a feedback how to deal with hard situation. There will be nobody. And if by any chance you try to problem solve and choose something, which happened with CLI Quiet now a lot after 2 years working with them, and this is why I'm not excited to work with them actually. I just disconnect Bulgarian, and they, in response to me disconnecting Bulgarian, they try to tell me that I'm a terrible interpreter with Italian. And when I address and ask them, can you be more clear where I exactly breached the law? They ghosted me. So I knew from the moment that I had the interview that I am not excited to work with CLI. I still do provide Italian with them, and I know in my head, I know it like right clearly here. It's Sunday morning in Denver, Saturday morning. I know that there would be this moment that I will disconnect with them because they are just not normal people. They are just not even good businessmen, right? So if they don't listen to you and they do interrupt you, you gotta have this thing in your head. If you choose to go with a company that is like that, you should know that these kind of problems will appear in your work, in your field. Like you're gonna have a problem, you will need somebody to help you now. Nobody will be there for you. So from the interview, you can guess and you can understand how this company will treat you. You gotta be quiet, awake during your interview, not trying to get it desperately. I've been there trying to get it desperately, and I've been trying to be like, and unfortunately at this interview a few years ago when I was trying to get this position, I discovered that they were trying to sell me interpreting classes, pretending that they need an interpreter. So they tested me and they told me that I was so bad, but not to worry because they were there to help me. $2,000 for training. So everywhere there is some kind of an invisible hook that you gotta be ready. But if you're awake at your interview, you can guess and you can know how your environment and how your experience working for this company will be like. So CLI, I was tell you, very pushy. They didn't listen to me not only, but they tried to put me down. They told me that I fail Russian language. They told me it was below 50. Not later after this interview with CLI, I interviewed with a very big government organization and I did simultaneous interpreting, 120 words per minute, English, Russian, Russian, English. It was about hour and a half interview and my score was 97%. So I was like, okay, I got you, CLI. You just don't need Russian. I understand. But when they tell you that you fail in something, is to corrode your self-esteem. And if you watch my videos about Sitcom and tricks they will use on you to keep you down, you will see this trick was used in there too. So don't listen to you. Don't. And the number three is do not answer your questions on the interview or ignore it elegantly. So let's say you ask him, okay, what kind of field your main like call volume is? What is your call volume? Oh, we are so busy. We have so much calls. But normally when you get hired for one language, they're not so busy. The truth is that you work and develop this line with your professionalism and slowly grow this company income with the job that you do. So, like, what you call volume, if they don't give you a precise answer, we have between 20 and 50 calls a day. We don't know yet because we haven't started this language. It's very honest, very professional, very clear answer, but we expect the call volume to grow. But most of them will lie to you that they have this extremely high call volume. So you can agree to work for lower money because you're gonna bet on the fact that you're gonna do the money on the quantity, because you know I'm gonna have a lot of job, it's okay, I can work a little bit cheaper, and you settle yourself. All this tactic is to make you settle. The truth is that once you start to work for them, you're gonna see if this is realistic or no, but the main goal for whoever recruits you is to recruit you for less money, correct? And the number four tip that I'm gonna give you today and then start answering your questions because I have like 4 pages is if you did ask a question or you wanna ask a question, but because they interrupt you and they put your mind, because when you have a job interview, they can make you think in a certain direction. They drag your mind into certain things that you think about. So if you ask one questions and they start talking about something else, this is because they don't want to give you an answer, and they don't say to you, hey, you know what, I cannot answer you, or this is not the moment to discuss that. But they drag you to think about how great this company is. For example, if you ask about money and they make you feel uncomfortable, like for me, if somebody makes me feel uncomfortable, and honestly, if you watch the CSI agent, FBA agent, all these very successful, very sharp people that take these huge numbers, that there is this red flag about feeling uncomfortable, even if in life threatening position. Feeling uncomfortable, it's something that should tell you that there is something not exactly quiet okay about this work, this recruiter. You should not feel uncomfortable. And if the recruiter, or somehow you start feeling uncomfortable, and this should be a sign for you that you gotta walk away. Sometimes I do feel uncomfortable, and instead of just cut the company, I take a few days off, and I'm thinking what this company is doing. I'm trying not to be emotional. I'm trying to cool off myself and thinking, okay, what they did. First things that they did, I noticed this problem. I address it, no answer. For example, CLI. I address it again, no answer. My third action was what? I disconnect one languages. Then was an answer. Oh, we're so sorry. Yari yari yari. The reason that I disconnect Bulgarian with them is because I noticed that they don't appreciate my service. Not only I give it for a good price and they resell it three times to three, four companies, but they're also very arrogant, and I don't like working with arrogant people. And I can be poor, it's fine. I'm not gonna die with the money. I'm not gonna bring them in the grave, correct? So I'm like, I can live more simple. I don't need so much money. I'm gonna be happy having a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but what I mean is I can choose what is more important to me, correct? I love coffee. I don't know if you guys have coffee. If you ever live in Italy, you will understand why Italian people just, it's all about the coffee there. Okay, so said that, let's start responding to your comments. I have printed them all here. And this one is George Coelho Espina. This was just not long ago. I want to tell you something about the Spanish videos, guys. Please, whoever want to do Spanish videos with me, I don't want you to just text me, I know a little bit of Spanish. Yo también hablo un poquito español. Yo puedo hacer este video sola. I'm able to do these videos. I speak Spanish. My Spanish is so I can read the terms. The ones that I don't know, I can find them. It's not gonna be so difficult for me to make a Spanish videos because I speak Italian, I speak some Spanish. Okay, I'm okay in Spanish. A lot of people understand me that they don't understand English. I am able to carry conversation. I did some interpreting in Spanish for the 6 years period that I provide services for Siricom, but I just want a native Spanish speaker to come and be my guest, guys. I want you to know the videos. I don't want you like the terms. I don't want to get anybody and bring you here and grill you because you don't know the medical terminology, because you don't work in the field. So I want a Spanish person who is already working as a medical interpreter, who has the knowledge and who is ready, because whoever works the Spanish, it's going to be easy for you to make the video. But if you don't, if you haven't, that would be like so hard for you. I want to say thank you. Somebody contacted me on Facebook. I do appreciate this. Thank you so much. It was a person from Europe. I'm going to keep your name anonymous, but I do appreciate your contacting me. But the truth is, I don't want to grill you because I respect your time. And if your first language is French, French is great as well. It's another language. And I'm eventually gonna do video in French in the future. I will have you in my head. But right now I wanna do I have recruit one lady from, she's Russian but she live in UK, and we're gonna make videos in Russian. And I have a friend who is Ukrainian. I will do some videos with her, and and I would love to do Spanish. Please, like, if you're in the field, don't hesitate to call me. I would love to do this whenever you guys ready. So, but just have in mind, I want you to be ready. Thank you, George Coelho Espina. I will watch your videos. I appreciate you being here, really. And you're talking about English, Spanish. Okay, I want to tell you about this. There is quite a lot of comments on these videos, English, Spanish. Some of these comments was not so positive for Rosa, and I removed them, and I will tell you why. Because I respect Rosa's work, and I think she's a great interpreter. She's professional, and I want you to be respectful here. I don't want you to write some inappropriate things because you feel bad with yourself, okay? So I received quite a lot of negative comments about myself as well for these videos in Spanish. Thank you for your attention. I gotta say that I appreciate your time. Even if it's negative, it's still attention, as they say. I appreciate your attention. I know that some people doesn't know how to be grateful and positive, and this is their only ways of being, and this is why they write something offensive or trying to hurt others and so on and so on. Um, but just like if you're here, this means that I'm successful. If you waste your time to put a comment there, I mean, I understand that I'm interesting. I understand that I'm intelligent. I understand that I'm smart. And sometimes I'm thinking, shall I respond to this provocation or just ignore it, or go further, uh, or just pretend that I didn't read it. I don't really know, like, what shall I do with this kind of attention, you know. But I receive many comments on this video, Spanish, English, that talk about straight to the term 6 minutes and 12. Okay, in this video, the first 6 minutes, I was talking about how the bilingual tests are structured. If you think that you're gonna pass the test just because you know the terms, I gotta disappoint you, because working as an interpreter is not about excelling in terminology. It's way more than that. Is your intellect, your way of presenting yourself, your way of communicating with others. It's the whole thing you are. And sometimes you don't do so good at the chess, but you still get hired. Why? Because you're a pleasant human. And sometimes you think, oh, maybe I missed one or two, three. If you're so focused on the terms, you're gonna forget about the main reason why you are working as an interpreter with nowadays technology and all these apps and things that you can use. It's because you're human. Nothing on this earth will ever be more worth than a human. And the reason that you still have a job despite the whole technology is because you have feelings, human being feelings. And when you forget that you're human, this is when your value is gone. Because a machine can do the terms. I can get them on Google perfect. You can do it. There's so many instruments online that you can use. So when you forget to be a human, this is when your value really drops. And I'm talking being a human at your workplace as an interpreter. Thank you, Sylvia Batista called in Denver. Oh my God, there was a comment about the interview there. Ben Johnson, this video is super helpful to learn medical terminology in Spanish. Are the other 14 videos posted in YouTube? Unfortunately, not. My goal is to make them, and you can take part of it if you want to. Leticia Chantal Foucault. Hi, I'm interested in Spanish job. How can I contact you? Leticia Chantal, you can I will write a comment below this video and leave you my business email, and we can just chat about it. I would love to do Spanish. Luis Calderon. Hi, Luis. Beautiful face and accent. Thank you, Luis. Some accents, sometimes I feel bad about my accent. Okay, how to screen your job interview on this video. Mikhail Mietke 3 days ago. What a nice ways to present yourself as an interpreter, and it's quite original to explain basic words in three languages, which aren't common like English, Spanish, and French. Long live the post-colonial world. I don't even know what this means, but I think it's something positive. It's very early for me. Thai and Bulgarian, welcome to the language family. Thank you, Mikhail. One remark, maybe a hard copy would be nice, but it can be distracting to listen to your voice and typical sounds of your two languages. I like your videos a lot. Michel Mitake, conference interpreter, Dutch German, and he left his email. Thank you. I don't need neither Dutch, neither German. I would like to do German videos, English, German though. Eventually in the future, I appreciate your comments, sir. Cynthia Garcia. Okay, let me get this off. I don't think you should hit haters here. If constructive criticism of any. Okay, thank you, Cynthia Garcia. Yeah, one part of me, I don't want to let this all nagging, negative, yada, yada, yada. I don't want people to start thinking all these negative patterns. So the reason that I remove these nagging comments is because I don't want the people that are here to think like this. I don't want, because me and this page on YouTube, I want you to think a certain way. I want you to build yourself a certain way. And I don't want you to sit there on my video and see the nasty comments below and be afraid to try, because it hurts when you have this nastiness around you. Some people are just sick, they're mentally not okay. So said that, mm, I agree with the criticism, and I do appreciate Video El Teseo. If you're still here, I don't know. Thank you for letting me know. I will fix the apostrophe or the dot on the flags on this video. I do appreciate when you guys let me know, because I'm a human like you, and we all do mistake, and this is completely all right. It's okay. Loriana, very smart, great advice. Thank you, Loriana. I appreciate when ladies comment here. I love you guys. Isha Martin, we respond very extensively to your question here, and I give you quite a lot of hacks. Purple California. ¿Cómo se puede decir stillbirth en español? Please and thank you. I don't even know what is stillbirth in English. So if you're Spanish, please write me a comment below. We're gonna discover together stillbirth. What is that? Okay, Christy Burns. I would love to see more of those videos. Are they only two? We're talking about Spanish. Those are so good. Please make more. Thank you, Christy. I would love to make more, and I'm still looking for anyone who want to be part of this channel creating these videos. Um, this is an awesome video. This is yeah, bravo. Maybe I didn't pronounce it well. I'm so sorry. This is a awesome video. I love this so much. I would love to have this video in Italian as well. I have also learned there is difference in register, and therefore so many terms depend on who is talking. I'm so glad I found those videos. I wish this would be part of the study group. Thank you so much, ladies. Muchísimas gracias. Gracias a ti, Miss Bravo. Es muy piacere tenerte aquí. Gracias. So, yeah, I would Like, okay, one of the persons that records video with me, William, I do provide coaching for him, and we start doing this. But the truth is that it's kind of challenging to make a study group for people that doesn't work. I think this is why I want to have a different people that speak the same language that will take part of my videos. And the reason why is because everybody can give their own input. So everybody have their own style and their own elegance and their own way of speaking, if you want to, and presenting something and interpreting. And this is why I want you to be my guest. Yeah, I would love to make 14 videos. I gotta contact Rosa and ask her, but it's very important to, sometimes when I interpret something even in my native language, I would love to have someone and tell me, how would you do this? I would love to have this. I would love to even make videos interpreting somebody reading English. I will interpret Bulgarian English, and to have another Bulgarian speaking person who would be like, okay, I will do this that way. That would be wonderful, just to have an idea how this thing works. Fatima, hi there. How are you, Fatima? How that sounds such a bad interview, especially the weather. Yeah, kids, I will enjoy moving up the ladder and try to work in person, but I heavily use Notepad on my laptop to type and notes. I haven't been able to write notes. I feel like takes long time while listening to the target language. Do you recommend and approve on writing note courses? No. Okay, so this is one thing about in person. It's like I start working in person, and for me, it was very challenging to do it on the phone because when you are in person, you kind of perceive the person that doesn't speak English, and you kind of able to speak. So there is two folders that I have created. One is called abbreviations, and the second one is called note taking. I think both of these tactics combine with one tactic that is called no note taking. On my first in person in the hospital, I was very nervous. In fact, it was OBGYN. It was very complicated visit. And they put you behind a curtain, and the test or the medical exam is happening. Sometimes there is no curtain, which was this case for me, and it was kind of, how to say, distracting. I will use the word distracting. In trade fair, you don't see people that are without clothes, let's say, and in person you do. And sometimes the Russian speaking people that I interpret for in the hospital or in the emergency are nude, and male especially, they do have a lot of problem with me, or sometimes with the nurse, not even me, because I'm turning on one side. I already uh, find a way to do this so they don't feel comfortable. So when I interpret in person, I would never look them in the face. I would just be, they would be on the side, and I will root right forward. I'm not even gonna look if they're wear something, or I'm gonna be like this. If the person is here, I'm gonna be like this. I'm not even gonna be like looking at them like, no, I'm gonna have a point where I choose to look, and it's gonna be not at their intimate parts or their wounds or anything. And what's happening when you are aware of that, when you put like a mental barrier between their uncomfortable being naked and you being there present fully dressed, because this is clearly uncomfortable. When I apply this tactic, I feel that the people that doesn't speak the language, they will look at me, and they will look wherever I look. And sometimes we did this extremely unpleasant, torturing procedures in person, and and he will ask me, what do you think, like, what do you imagine? And I will tell him, oh, you know what, I really love hiking, so I'm just thinking where I went last week. So any little thing that make you not stare at their intimate parts or whatever is the situation there, even if you do cameo or you do whatever you do, as in-person interpreter, you gotta be able to abstract yourself and put a barrier. The barrier, first of all, for you, because after being in a neurosurgery for quite a lot of time, few months ago, it was affecting me. It was affecting me emotionally because some of these procedures are done with no anesthesia, and the blood is real and the pain is real. And even if it was not me, after some hours I was feeling like I have felt this pain myself. I was feeling like I was there torturing someone. This is a terrible feeling to have when you try to work, right? So like being in person for me, it's more easy, first of all, because I understand the person, I understand what's happening, and they also see me. And if you put the effort to look nice and dress and look professional, and be calm, and say, don't worry, I'm gonna be here, we're trying to do our best, people trust you in these 2 hours, in this whatever period is happening, this procedure. And so they trust you. Do you know why? Because you're calm. So the most important thing that I discover for myself when I work in person in the hospital is to be calm. And sometimes being calm is not easy thing when you see somebody being tortured. I'm sorry to use this word, but some procedures are very painful and very hard procedure to do, especially when you, for example, take water out of the lungs. It's very, very painful, and it's terrible to assist. Honestly, it's very bad. It's not a fun thing to see. So I'm trying to distract myself from in person. Not, it's not possible. First of all, you gotta make this barrier and choose a spot to look and just active listening. There is this video that I talk about active listening and how to do it and how to train your brain. And then once he stops, to continue. I never take notes in person. Never. And the reason why is because you cannot. You don't look professional if you sit and take notes there. Because first of all, when you do any kind of test in the hospital, in the emergency, the first procedure is what you do: you check them in, you present yourself, you fill the documents, they gotta change, and they put these gowns, you know, medical gowns. If it's neurosurgery, you put the gown too. So there is this other video that I talk about how you should wear when you go to in person in the hospital, and the reason why is you cannot wear this. You cannot wear none. I don't wear no. I wear just this, and the reason that I got this watch is because this is not metal. This is not gonna react on the machine. I can go inside with it, and I have another that is from plastic, in case I'm gonna work there. I have flat nursing shoes too, because they not gonna bang on the MRI or whatever machine is gonna be there. So and when I wear button-up shirts, I make sure that they're plastic. The buttons are plastic. I am very conscious when I go to work in the hospital in a way I dress and in a way what I bring. I would always bring a small snack and a bottle of water, especially if it's early in the morning. Some procedure should be 2 hours and they last five. So in person, you gotta think no notes. This is my advice, Fatima, uh, for in person. I don't know like how and why and yada yada yada. Just have in mind that in person, it's no notes. This is what I can tell you. You don't have a time, and only also I will tell you another thing. I know you guys bored of these medical videos. I know this. If you see, there is 15 videos called Bilingual Target Language Proficiency Test in English only. The reason that I give you these videos because you need to know every word, 99 of them, with closed eyes when you sleep. Because when you go in person medical, there is no Wi-Fi in the hospital. 99%. If you do surgery, your phone will be dead. If you do neurosurgery, because of the machines that are down there, your phone is going to be out of line. You cannot search terms. And said that if you cannot search terms, you gotta know them. If you don't know one term is okay. Like for example, I remember on my first in person, I didn't know the term of gallbladder in Russian, which is j- желудка. So we have in Russian they have желудок, which is the stomach, and желудка, which is the gallbladder. Жлочный мехур. That's how it's a gallbladder exactly in Russian. But in jargon or in like slang, is желудка. It's like, oh, I have желудка removal, and you're like, what is that? I didn't know this. No service in the hospital. So what do? I asked the patient, can you please clarify for me? But you cannot ask her clarify every second word. One, two, it's okay during 1 hour. This is why you gotta be ready and you gotta know them and you have no time to take notes in person. Okay. Note courses, I give you the advice what you can do. Okay, I will talk about United Language. You guys knew I was interpreting for United Language Group, and that was until a few months ago where I decided to disconnect. Like I didn't even elaborate it. I just did it, and then I was like, "Oh wow, why I did it?" And then I see myself that I was not so happy providing services. Okay, for United Language Group, there is three types of tests that United Language Group did on me. Actually, they're not so terrible. It's a Muslim guy that stays behind this company who is not very stable, I would tell you this, but he is honest in payment. I will tell you, you will not have problems. Avid person though. So the first test, she asked me, who is this? I don't see your name, but you ask, somebody asked, okay, let me see. Cynthia Garcia, do you know what's the terminology they test you for ULG group? If it's a test to start work, it's a very basic one. And if you watch my videos, bilingual target language proficiency test is very easy. Two languages, you're gonna have one versus another. And I think they did medical and something like financial, the first test. The second was they give you legal training. I had about 10 hours UK system legal training, and there is a test there. And this is after you have your urine, drug, and high security clearances with them, because you cannot work for the government if you cannot pass the high security. So they did this. By the way, they never raised my payment. I worked almost 4 years for them. I just disconnect with them a few months ago. They never raise your payment. They don't care much about you. A lot of their trainings are wasting of time. So they do these monthly trainings that are total BS. They do some medical trainings that I find them totally BS, because they would train you about these things that has nothing to do with your job as medical interpreter, which I don't understand why. Not only, but they will ask you to write down on the target language on piece of paper the words that they decide that are important, and I did, and I uploaded on their system. Otherwise, they don't let you to pass the medical training. But yeah, they do a lot of trainings every month, yada yada yada, many things going on there. The second type of test, I will tell you, the second two tests that they did on me, they're both not. They don't do the test in, how it's called, in home. They export the test, and the reason why is because uh, they need the certification. One of the organization that they use to test you is called STAT, and the second one is called, I don't know who tested me, but I know the type of test is called a level 5 language proficiency. So they make me do the medical stat, which is you can do with the stat company. You can search for it. I think I have done one stat myself, but I don't have it here. I have done Italian English stat. Unfortunately, I don't have it here. I do have it. Uh, so there is different stats. One is regular bilingual, and I did this one, and I had like 80, 90%. Even surprisingly for me, my English level was higher than my Italian, which was shocking for me because I just come from Italy when I did it. But the normal stat is just bilingual test. It's nothing to do with medical. They said John and Mary went to the store where John wanted to buy a shoes, but they didn't have his size, and then John decided to do this. They make you listen this, and then they ask, okay, what was John doing in the store? And you gotta respond in English or in Italian. Oh, John went to the store because he wanted to buy shoes, but he what size of shoes John wear? So it's just like dumb questions to see if you understand English. Basically, that's the first level of this stat test. The level 5 language proficiency test in my target language when I did with them last year. This is after you pass the high security clearances and all that, the drug test, everything. Um, the second, it was L5 proficiency. This type of test is not only like to see if you know the two languages. Let's say it was English, Bulgarian. There would be a space where you gotta talk in the both languages freely on certain topics. And the text that they read is not normal text. You're gonna have one part that is medical and one part that is strictly political, that you're gonna be like, I'm not sure even I understand the even like it's gonna be hard for you to understand the words itself. I'm not talking about like command on it, and the level of speaking this language is very different than just the way I'm talking to you right now. We're gonna talk about some environment causes is where somebody will fight for against the pollution and some chemical things inside there that are very difficult. On this test I get 89% on my target, my native speaking Bulgarian. Even I study in the university in Bulgaria, so it's not only just to know the language, but it's how well you know the language, the aristocracy of expression, if you want to call it. Okay, so that's three tests. If it's the first test, don't worry, it's easy, you're gonna pass it. Alvaro Santa Cruz, gold contacts. This is the one of the channels for the interpreters. Thank you, Alvaro. I appreciate. Gracias. Muy gusto. I appreciate your comments, guys. Sometimes I am like, what I'm even doing here. Carolina Shores. Thank you for the information and your advice. Thank you for being Carolina. I appreciate you watching my videos. Fabiana Snaps. Okay, thank you for the helps. This is about the last live I did. I love it. Okay, I love this comment. I'm gonna just give a second here. VS Languages Interpretation English classes. Thank you, VS Languages. Maybe you can be my guest if you watch this video. Maybe you can come and talk about what you guys do in your channel, because I know some people want to do the trainings. I personally don't need, but I'm curious. I actually was hired not maybe 2 years ago by this New York company to do interpreter trainer, which I am not so excited about it with this specific company. But okay, VC languages. Hi, thank you so much for all your tips. I'm at entry level. I just finished 160 hours diploma in medical interpreting. Congratulations! But I'm not sure how to get myself into the market without experience. What would be a good start? Thanks a lot in advice for the help and the dedication. Best wishes. Anything is good, honey. My first experience was interpreting in the circus. Anything. Honestly, there's so many. I just wanted to tell you one thing. The fact that you doesn't have experience doesn't mean that you're gonna be a bad interpreter. So just apply. I would make a resume and just apply. Honestly, I had only simultaneous interpreting in business to business when I got here 6 years ago in USA, and a company which was Siricom contacted me, and I was like, medical? I was not excited to work. I love business, and if you do have a business and you need a business interpreter, please don't hesitate to call me. I love anything about trade fair. I love walking into the trade fair and breathe in it. I just love it. And medical, it's all right, but I study business. I'm a business major, so for me, like, everything related to international trade fair is, if you sell diamonds, you can call me. I will be your interpreter for free. Kidding. Ain't not gonna be for free, but I would love to do anything like that. So just try and don't be afraid. It's okay to make mistakes. Okay, Loriana, your accent is really strong but is very beautiful. None should make you talk in either dialect. It would be inhuman and ugly to have everyone speak the same dialect. Thank you, Loriana. In fact, some people think, this calls that, hi, we're calling you from the Department of Federals because somebody stole your identity. I am laughing because do you know how hard it is to stole identity to a person who speaks seven languages and has three masters? That would be damn impossible. Like, how you can stole my identity? Seriously. But people that has no identity can have easily lose their identity. But saying about the accents, uh yes, that's something I suffered. I will be honest with you. I was a little bit ashamed in the beginning of me myself. Self-acceptance is a great thing, I believe. Thank you, Loriana. She said, you talk good stuff. I listen your speech in higher speed, but I do that on everyone. Ooh, yay! Thank you, Loriana. Okay, Loriana give us here great tip. I do appreciate when you guys thank you for this comment. I love it. So I will give you something that I do for all the people that want to work in person and they're afraid and they're thinking, oh, notes, notes, notes. No notes. And I will tell you what I do, and you can think that I'm crazy. And that's okay. I'm probably a little bit crazy. It's fine to be. So I put the news in Russian channel or any podcast. I like to listen psychology or book or anything. I just put it on and I interpret. I choose a language once a week or two, few times a week. Now many times a week because I did just the simultaneous Russian 160 words per minute. I just did this test and I don't care how I care. I hope I passed, but I just put it on and I just speak on the target language without worrying if I'm gonna miss, omit, make mistake, use the wrong term. Just do it. First time when you put the news, and especially the first part that they give it the short part that is super fast, you're like you cannot even take a breath and interpret. So I have a, how to say, hack that I use to my brain. Is hack that I train my brain with, and the hack is this: I put the speech. A lot of people, when they start doing simultaneous, they get so scared because they are thinking, oh my goodness, I gotta understand what he's saying and I gotta structure it and put it. No, 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 no. You don't have to understand the whole phrase. You don't have to understand even the picture, not even the color. You're listening hello and you say hello immediately. Of course, you don't do this, but I would, my like how I do this fast interpreting, I listen 4 words and I interpret. Hello, my name is Garcia Gonzalez. Hola, es mi nombre es Garcia Gonzalez. You see, you brain work fast. Give it a short terms. Short, short, short. People also take breaths when they speak. They will eventually pause. So listen and speak at the same time. It could be a little bit challenging, but you can get used to it when you do this. So Loriana probably is court interpreter. I could tell by this note because we we people that do court interpretation, we know that it's important to be able to do it fast. Fatima, hi Fatima, hi my dear, nice to see you comment here again. Thank you for sharing your insight. I will definitely keep those in mind. um, I admire your boundary in knowing you deserve better. I'm 21, I enjoy interpreting, but I still have a lot to learn. I try not to feel too stressed. Okay, yeah, how you deal with stress in a stressful. Okay, I will give you a few hacks. Hi Fatima, first of all, nice to have you here. I know you were present in my last life. I appreciate you being here. I was thinking that you were older because you sound so mature, but I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you, thank you. I enjoy beautiful people. So, okay, stress or being worried about your performance in any field, it's ruining it. Okay. So, first of all, there is always like, I don't know if you guys have a morning practice. I do have. In fact, I'm very selfish person in the morning because I need my space and I like to get this practice to myself and suit myself and get into my body and just feel my body, feel my own self in the morning before I start working. And I will tell you, I work a lot now online, very much. I do a lot in person as well here in Denver. Uh, I used to have this extreme stress, adrenaline rush before I start my calls. First few years, because I was so used to see people in person, in their face, even if it was simultaneous, it doesn't matter. So for me, like getting the calls, it was so oh, mute. I hear the phone and I'm gonna shake, like literally. I would be so scared because every call is different and every situation is different, right? And every person have a different problem, no? Mm. So first of all, if you wanna have a good performance, you gotta be calm with your own self. You gotta be calm because 99 and 99% of the times uh, the calls, whoever add you will be stressed and tense, and things will happen there. I used to do 911 calls quite a lot, or emergency, or any kind of a police calls are very stressed. People are arrested, they're crying, dying. Many things are happening on these calls for the police. I don't know if you guys do police, but I do quite a lot. So the stress is something that is not good for you personally. So me, first number one thing, I need my time in the morning. I don't know, Fatima, maybe you're Muslim. I know you guys Muslim pray, and I think this is a beautiful way to suit yourself. I find this a great instrument, and I don't say pray, oh God, give me car, give me money. Pray for being present in praying. And I did a different personal journey to my beliefs in God and Goddess, and I can say that I closely feel to this religion that is Hindu, if you want to call it Hindu, or Buddhism, because they accept all Goddess and they're so loving and tolerant and accepting. So when I say to pray, I don't mean like, oh gosh, please help me to make good. I mean invoke the God in you because you have a goddess part, the good part in you, in a way that you stay a little present with your goddess you. And if this is a Muslim prayer, or if this is Christian prayer, or this could be a Hindu Om Namah Shivaya, 5 minutes Om Namah Shivaya singing, just be present in this prayer. The reason why I tell you to use this praying instrument is because when you pray, you suit to your own senses, you suit to your own, your body and your soul get together, basically, if you want to say that. And when you get together to your inner precious being, you kind of calm and you quiet yourself down, you quiet your soul down. And when you're calm and quiet to yourself, you're not stressed anymore. Why? Because you believe it's gonna be okay. So the most important thing, and this is a practice that even I'm getting quieter right now when I talk about it, is because when you pray or you have a practice that it's just for you, not to desire, to want, to wish, to chase some, just for you to be with your own self. And I'm very, very jealous, and I think this is why I'm single, because I love being with myself. Because when you get in touch with yourself, you let go of all these judgmental things that you have heard around, the people that put you down, all these dirty, if you want to call it, environment, the world, the competition pushing you, give more, desire more, consume more, buy more, trademarks and all these things, you let go of it and you sue into yourself. And when you sue into yourself, you sue into your goddess gift, right? And whatever this gift you have, one of which is speaking languages, you get happy to be able to explore this gift, because speaking languages is a hard work, but it's also a gift. It's your soul goddess gift. So when you suit into this gift that you have, which is speaking this or that language, and allow it to be within you, to be you, allow yourself to experience this, but not worrying about others, if I do good, if I do, just be there for yourself. You're calm. And when you're calm and you pick up the phone, guess what? The other side perceive it. Maybe you're not so perfect in terminology. This is not a problem in interpreting. Maybe you're not so great and precise, and but when you're calm and when you're into your senses, people perceive that. Believe it or not, you do have power, invisible power. And when you get in touch with your invisible power and your invisible gift, other people perceive that. And for some reason, they feel drawn into you. They're pleased to have you. They're happy to use your services. Sometimes I'm not so focused, I gotta tell you, especially if I'm not challenged. I'm honest with you. I know this. This is the truth. And I know, and I'm honest to myself. Sometimes I would get distracted, look something and forget listening, right? And I'm going to apologize and ask, and they, oh, don't worry. People are happy to speak with somebody who is soothed. But if you're nerve breaking and worried and, hello, this is Fatima, and so I'm gonna be your interpreter. How can I? So when you have this vibe in you, even if you try to hide it behind your tone, it's perceived, unfortunately. So I experienced that lately. I was interpreting for a lady, and we were having hard time to understand what's the problem. So I was getting frustrated because I noticed that the provider get frustrated, and I was like, "Ma'am, do you allow me to understand what exactly she's looking for? Please, would you allow me to clarify that?" She gave me a permission, and I have about 2 minutes conversation with the Russian lady, and we were able to understand what was the problem. And then when I got back to the provider, everything was in a different note. But the reason that I was able to do this is because I saw that it was going out of direction, that we were not functioning properly in our position, me in my position as an interpreter and provider, trying to help this customer, correct? So the most important thing is to stay soothed within yourself, within your senses. Very good exercise I have. This is why when I rent a house, for me it's so important to have a window towards looking something, even looking the rain. I have a window here on my living room, and I would always sit on this window and sit on my like lunch table and work from there quite a lot, because I would look outside and there is this lady that she will feed these street cats every few times a day, and it's gonna be like part of my soothing routine just to watch her feeding the cats. Okay, guys, I know you can think that I'm crazy, which is fine because, but you gotta find something. I also gotta tell you something else that is make. I always dreamed to be a painter as a child, but my stepfather didn't let me. He said to me that absolutely not. uh, when I was 10, I really started to be have passion about languages, and I wanted to learn languages. I thought that was so cool, and I wanted to be this cool person that speak many languages. So me being who I am today is my vision since I was 10 years old girl, because I read a book of Daniel Steele. It was a criminal book about the bad guys and about people speaking languages with accent, and I was so fascinated, and I was like, I want to be that person. I desire to be that person. And since I was 10 until now, how many years? I'm like 26 years. I make millions small steps toward this person that I wanted to be, right? I work for it. I work, I study, I read, and so on. By the way, I want to learn Spanish real well. So maybe you can advise me some Spanish school, because this is like, I'm saying to myself, Spanish, so many people speak Spanish. I need to know Spanish. So I'm willing to polish my Spanish to learn it better. So said that you also have vision for yourself, for your future, for who you want to be, and how you want to be. So the stress, it's not who you want to be. You don't want to be stressed. You don't want to be worried, because people will judge you no matter what. I'm sorry, this is my work. I was thinking it was off. I think I should finish this live because it's going quite a long time now. But so you gotta have your own soothing. And one thing that I do to soothe while I'm on the phone, I paint. Yes, I could show you something sometimes, maybe not today, but I love my paint. I think people, I mean, I used to paint. I wanted to be a painter, and I'm going toward this dream also to be a painter, or to be part of my persona thing. I always wanted to be a painter and a writer in my childhood, and person who speak languages, which I become. So now I'm working on the painting, and the writing eventually will come with time. But said that, you gotta find something that suit you. It means calm you down while you work. And for me, this soothing thing is looking outside the window, for example. It's very calming for me. Painting and being relaxed. Just start my day in the right way. That, I hope you try some of this, and I hope this helps you. Syria Armani, prepared, preparedness professionalism. Preparedness es ser preparado en español, o saber, essere preparado antes, to know in advance. Essere profesional è un'altra cosa. Essere profesional include una cosa un poquito más grande, ¿no? Perché preparada, io sono preparata nella tematica per il mio esame di interprete medico, ¿no? E sono preparata. E soy un intérprete profesional is include that you have the professional interpreting training, and this include other video that we can talk about why you get monitored during your job and what's mean being professional. And if you're a professional interpreter, essere preparata di trabajar come interprete, which means being ready to work as an interpreter, is one thing. But being a professional interpreter, because you can be a great medical interpreter, you can know all the terminology, but you're not able to follow best practice, best protocols, code of ethics, HIPAA, which is another training that is on the side, is two different things. Sierra Armani, yeah, this is a very controversial thing. So preparada is like you put the job to get ready for something, no? And professional include being preparada plus something more, being ready for your job and being professional. Professionalism means acting in a certain manner and conduct on your in the role or in the boundaries of your professional role. Lara Veronica say, I love the content and become a new subscriber. I was just in a disagreement with you IQ comment. I understand that you struggled the use of easier terms, and my understanding is that we are to maintain the same register, meaning we are not to simplify terms. Okay, guys, let's talk a little bit about the register. We have one more comment. We're almost done. I know this is the longest live I ever done. So the best practices and best protocols train you to respect the register. You gotta respect the register of the doctor and the patient, which is the person that doesn't speak English, right? So there is a small, I will call it avoiding ways to avoid being so high register. For example, I will give you an example for a doctor's appointment. So you went to the GI last week. If you know what is a GI is gastroenterologist, right? So most of the people doesn't know the doctor's abbreviations. So let's say is Italian. I would say, allora sei andato al gastroenterologo la settimana scorsa, quindi sei andato al gastroenterologo la settimana scorsa, hai visto il dottore? So saying that, I use the same word, GI, gastroenterology, but I didn't use the abbreviation. The reason why is because I live in Italy and most of the people doesn't know what is a GI. Because there are many abbreviations in economics that are exactly the same and they mean completely different things. So when I said simplify, I don't mean like, let's say, gastroenterolog, GI is the highest gastroenterologist. Then you can put doctor that is responding for gastrointestinal tract, which is the longer way to describe it. And then you could say very simple, if it's a kid, doctor for your stomach. So I don't say from GI drop down to doctor of the stomach like you're speaking to 3 years old guy or boy or girl or kid. When I say to simplify, I don't mean this because you cannot do this at your job profession unless you ask for permission. So normally, if I work on the phone as medical, which happened to me last week, I noticed that the limited speaking Russian person has not so much education, and so even in sometimes in banking, people that have a lot of money, they don't know basic things. It's all right. So I ask the provider permission to allow me to drop the register in order to make him understand us. I ask, do you allow me to do this from now on? When the provider allows you, I will use such a words to make sure they understand what she meant. But I will ask permission if I have to do this drop, as I described earlier. If I don't have to do this drop, I just do it slightly. I do a slide, picking the word that is gonna be that I hear, I perceive that other part will use. Also, another technique that I use, talking about the register, normally when you start to talking with a target language, there is a different educated level of educated people, right? There is some that have basic school and their way of expression is very simplified. In order to be on their level, I will use the same expressions when I talk to them to make them feel comfortable. The same way they talk, the same way I will talk. And the last comment is King Titan. I'm in Washington State, USA. We live in 5 acres in a mobile home. The property owners listed our place for sale by owner and did not tell us. Approximately 5 days later, I figured it out. It's been listed now for 6 weeks. They always show the property with no notice, also knocking on our door to show the inside. Now, we don't answer. I had told them to stop walking around our home with strangers with no notice. They agreed. 2 days later, the wife is right back at it. Okay, this is one video where I put how to sue your landlord. First of all, they don't have to inform me if they put the property for sale, but let's go to the legal note of this question is here. They have to give you 24-hour notice. You cannot forbid them to walk around the property, but you have the fully right to not let them in. So the right way to handle that is request them to give you 24-hour notice by phone, text, and you gotta request them in a written manner, email or text whatsoever. Request them to do this written in a written note. And they have to give you a 24-hour notice. If they don't, it's your full right not to open. And if they insist, you can call the cops. Simple. Said that, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. um I do appreciate you being here. Thank you for your comments. I really, really love to make videos in different languages. So if you do wanna take part of this bilingual videos, if you wanna speak your native language, I would love to have you here. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.